Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. To the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, Master Sakya Tsongkhon, His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and Master Dubdan Dorji. Let's pay homage to the three jewels of the altar and homage to the main deity of Homa today, Mahamayuri Buddha, Mahamayuri Sutra, Mahamayuri Assembly, and retinue. Sumo, Tanchen Gato, Tutan City, Tutan Kama. All Dhamma masters, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma tutors, temple and center directors, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon. How do you do?
아이스테르 사랑해 오라미코 깨깨로 묻혀 스코인 이지만 김어지 주미 야피 뿌린뿌린 konnichiwa.
Now I would like to announce for next Sunday, January 14th, at 3 p.m., there would be Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva Homa fire offering ceremony. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is known to everyone. No one does not know. Avalokitesvara is the yidam of many people. And they are closest to sentient beings in the Sa world. We can say that they are the Bodhisattva with the closest affinity. And we can say that Tantric Buddhism, the whole Tibet, is the spiritual center for Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. The most important mantra there is just Om Mani Padme Hum. It's everywhere. Om Mani Padme Hum. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva has the closest affinity with sentient beings, and they delivered the most sentient beings too. So if you have no affinity with them, then you don't need to become primary supplicants. We can say the whole of Tibet is the spiritual center for Avalokitesvara or Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. It's Om Mani Padme Hum everywhere. There. But I heard it will be very cold next week, and perhaps even snow. It's okay. If it's snowing hard, you don't need to come, but you still have to register for primary supplicants. We don't have to have the ceremony, but you still have to become the primary supplicant. We hope that Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva protects us so that our Homa next week will go on as usual. Actually, there are many mudras for Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, but the common one that we use is the Bodhisattva mudra, the Lotus Anjali mudra, to symbolize Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. They are the most compassionate symbolizers. They symbolize the most compassion. Bodhisattvas who with the greatest compassion. And today we had a Mahamayuri's Homa. And this deity has tremendous power that they are the same as 3 Tathagatas. The crown that they're wearing is the precious crown of Vairocana Buddha, the great son Tathagata. And they also represent or symbolizes Sakyamuni Buddha, because prior to attaining Buddhahood, Sakyamuni Buddha in his past life was once a peacock king. Peacock king. And we all know that Mahamayuri represents Sakyamuni Buddha. That's the functional body. And Amitabha Buddha. In Sukhavati Pure Land, there are peacocks, parrots, kalavinkas, jivajigas, manifested by Amitabha Buddha. Therefore, they also represent the transformation body of Amitabha Buddha. 3 Tathagatas. One is the great son Tathagata Vairocana, Sakyamuni Buddha, and Amitabha Buddha. The combined union of these 3 Tathagatas is Mahamayuri Buddha. And what they are holding, one is peacock feather for subjugation, a white lotus for purification and eradication of calamities, and auspicious fruit for enrichment, and the affinity gathering fruit for love and respect. So their Dharma power encompasses purifications, enrichments, magnetization, and subjugation. This is a deity that we perform today, Mahamayuri, the great peacock king. And Mahamayuri assembly include many of them. Mahamayuri assembly includes the 7 past Buddhas. And at the center, Maitreya Bodhisattva. To left and right are Pratyeka Buddhas and Shravakas. And the 4 heavenly kings, 8 heavenly kings, 28 constellations, Navagraha, the 12 zodiacs are all part of the retinue of Mahamayuri. Therefore, Mahamayuri has tremendous, great Dharma power. So this was Mahamayuri, the one that we perform for Homa today. Yesterday, I mentioned about many dakinis in our school. Dakinis, most importantly, the greatest dakini is the Prajna Buddha Mother. We often chant this mantra, Om Kete Kete Poro Kete Poro Sankete Buddhi Soha. This was the last few words in the Heart Sutra. So that represents wisdom. That symbolizes wisdom. Therefore, dakinis represent wisdom. The greatest dakini is Prajna Buddha Mother. And Prajna means wisdom. The wisdom of the Tathagata. So today I heard Master Lien Tzu said in her meditation there were 2 dakinis looking for her, blessing her eyes, and she ignored them and she continued her meditation. And I feel that you should be respectful toward dakinis. And if you ignore wisdom, how can you have wisdom then? Prajna Buddha Mother is the greatest dakini. All the dakinis came from Prajna Buddha Mother. That's the greatest primary deity of the dakini. And also Vajrayogini, Dorje Pakmu, they are all dakinis. Manohara is also a dakini. Gurukule Buddha Mother is also a dakini. They are all great dakinis. They have great wisdom and great power, and that you cannot lack any of them. The other time, Dharma Sister Xiao Fen said that the 5 Buddha mothers of Guru Padmasambhava paid homage to Grandmaster. Of course, they had to pay homage. These 5 Buddha mothers were old acquaintances of Grandmaster. We knew each other well, like Ishi Jogal, who became a leader, spiritual leader or founder of a sect, Ishijogal. And she has many emanations, like Machilabron, Saraswati, the Ganges goddess, the snowy mountain goddess, Ishijogal, were all emanations of Ishijogal. At that time, I existed then. She was a concubine of King Drzong Dijin that was transferred or given to Guru Padmasambhava. And the first Buddha mother, Mandarawa, was a princess of a kingdom in India near Afghanistan, Mandarawa and Ishijogal. In Guru Padmasambhava's Tanka, often have Mandarawa and Ishijogal as the two Buddha mothers on his sides. And Mandarawa was a princess of a kingdom in India. And Sakyadevi was a nobility lady from Nepal. And then Ishijogal, in following the instruction of Guru Padmasambhava, Ishijogal went to Nepal to look for Sali, which was the emanation of Vajrapani Bodhisattva. And she also met Sakyadevi, which was the third Buddha mother of Guru Rinpoche. And the fourth Buddha mother of Guru Rinpoche was Kalasiddhi. And that was the attendant to Ishijogal, which later became Guru Rinpoche's fourth Buddha mother. The fifth Buddha mother was Tashi Chidrun. And she was from Bhutan. And the cultivation of Tashi was quite successful. She transformed into Dorje Torlu, which was the wrathful emanation of Guru Rinpoche. And underneath the tigress was the emanation of Tashi children. So I knew all these five Buddha mothers. So they paid homage to Grandmaster Lu. That's about right, because I knew them all. So Dakinis, they represent wisdom, like the 100,000 Dakinis. They are at the Oregon Pure Land, There are 100,000 Dakinis. And at the Golden Mother's place, there are 3,000 Dakinis. Some females who have attainment, they become the Dakinis, or celestial beings without bodies, talking about bodiless celestial beings. Recently, I met Vimalakirti and I asked him, Grandmaster Lu is in the Saha world and often cure the illnesses of people. Of course, I'm not a doctor, a medical doctor. I use a traditional treatment. I use talisman, fu, or mantra, or power of blessing. Every time when Simu gets on the car, she could not walk, so I carried her onto the car to go to the temple. And my drive to the temple was just a few minutes, a few short minutes, not even half an hour or an hour. And then in the car, in between, I just chanted the sutra and some mantras. And then when we opened the door, she forgets that she was carried onto the car and she could walk. She can walk. So we say that car is a healing car. Every time she gets on it, she's fine. At first, she would felt bad and needed people's help to get on the car and help in putting on the seatbelt. But once we get onto the tantric quarters, she just jumped off the car and ran to up the stairs and forgot that she was sick before. It's every time it's like that. So that's also a kind of power. I can help many people. And someone with the clinically blind disease that's diagnosed by the doctor, and now the eyes have gotten better. Lianqi knew. What's her name? Her name is Sarah Smell, and a student from Stanford University. And doctor had diagnosed her to be clinically blind, but after my blessing, not only she doesn't go blind, they've gotten better and become clearer and brighter. So there are many very mystical experiences, but I asked Vimalakirti, how come my illness at my 79, I cannot cure myself, but I can cure other people? Why? And Vimalakirti smiled. Your illness is a small ailment. In the future, you use this small ailment on your body to cure the most severe big illness of your body. What? I have the biggest illness? And I asked, what is the biggest illness? And Vimalakirti said, your body is your biggest illness. Your physical body is your biggest illness. And you use this small ailment to finish your biggest ailment, to finish your physical body, and that's the biggest illness. But let me tell you, it's not that only I have illnesses, but everybody does. And And you think doctors are incredible. They can cure other people's illnesses, but they can't cure their own illnesses. Every one of us will die. You think doctors who specializes on curing others will not die? All doctors will die eventually. No exception. And that is the biggest illness. We all will have to leave. Every time I go back to Taiwan, there is a pharmacy that's called Ting Ting Pharmacy, and Ting Ting is slang for dying, for death. What a good name! That means the medicines are something that will kill you. After taking medicines of that pharmacy, you all will die. There's like a death pharmacy or Ting Ting Pharmacy in Taiwan. It's actually a franchise. Huh? Really, Master Tupten Dorji called death or die Ting Ting, so they can sue me? No, they should sue Master Tupten Dorji. So your body, your physical body, is your biggest illness. Sakyamuni Buddha once said that the human body is a storage of germs. They're all germs inside your body. And one day, the germs inside your body will eat up all the other germs of your body until it's all gone. So therefore, our physical bodies are fake, are false. Your body, if you think your body is you, that's wrong. That's the fake self. In spiritual cultivation, we need to find our true self. So what Vimalakirti said was right. You use the small ailment to cure your biggest illness, which is to grind and cleanse your body until cleanly, until what's left is the true self. Everyone will die, will be sick, including the doctors. Of course, as a doctor, they are saving the world, but in reality, they too will not be able to cure themselves. Everyone is the same. So what Vimalakirti told me was very right. And then I asked him again, then Vimalakirti, when you were talking, you had illness too. That's why you had Vimalakirti Sutra. Do you know, by being sick, you're actually helping your disciples? I said, no, I didn't know. By being sick, how can I help my disciples? You know, your disciples, in order to ask you to stay in samsara, help you chant Hiking Sutra, go to Mother Sutra, help you chant mantra, so many they all chant sutras and mantras. Actually, you're helping them cultivating spiritually, because some of them never practice. But in order to ask you to stay samsara, they chant the sutras and they do practice and they chant mantras. So you're actually helping them. When I heard Vimalakirti said that, I was speechless, really. So by being sick, I'm helping my disciples practicing. See, the whole world that was initiated by True Buddha Foundation, everyone should pray for Grandmaster and Simu, and chanting sutras and mantras, and for a great number. And that's actually helping you cultivating spiritually. So Vimalakirti really had his way. This is also interesting, but it makes sense. Okay, let me share a joke now. A woman wants to get married, but because her boyfriend was not a Buddhist, her parents disagreed. So the boyfriend, upon her suggestion, started to read about Buddhism, so that he can become a Buddhist and receive approval from the girlfriend's parents. And after a period of time, the parents asked their daughter, "So how is he doing now?" And the daughter said, "Yeah, he's a Buddhist now." And the parents were very happy and said, "Okay, now you can get ready to get married." But the daughter cried, "Married? So why are you crying?" Because he believes it really, and now have become a monk. He's really got into it. He's gotten into it. A woman really likes to watch a TV series about palace and harem, like the ones that you watched, all of you watched. Oh, 甄嬛传 and other biographies about queens and concubines, and many of them. So she's always very suspicious. And when she was buying a bun, she took a silver needle and to put it into the bun, and it became black. It's poisonous, poisonous. And the boss said, "You crazy? That's the black sesame seed." A guy told the aunt, "Hey auntie, my mom gave me $200 for cutting my hair. Can I give you $100, and can you please cut my hair, and then I have $100 for myself?" And the auntie, wanting that $100, USD agreed, and cut cut his hair, and because it wasn't well, so continued cutting and cutting and cutting until he became completely bald. So the little guy, looking in the mirror, cried really badly. So the auntie did not have any other way and had to reimburse him with $500. Now we'll get to the Q&A. Didn't say the name of a country. A country in the east. The precious Grandmaster, please advise. I have 1 to 2 hours free time every day to practice Dharma. But as a middle-aged person, I have elderly parents above and young children below. And in addition, I have my own financial and health issues. I am burdened with many worries and have many requests. Sometimes I recite Grandmaster's mantra, Ushnisha Vijaya mantra, Buddha Sutra, Siddhigarbha Sutra, to pray for worldly issues. Then I have no more time left to practice Vajrasattva or Vajra heart Dharma practice. Grandmaster, what should I do? My current plan is to still try my best to practice the Vajrasattva or Vajra heart Dharma, and in the remaining time I will do my utmost to recite the sutras and mantras. Then I will dedicate all the merits to various wishes. As long as I have done my utmost, whether it results in success or failure, I will just leave it to Grandmaster and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So not much time, lots of worries, the elderlies and the young children, and not much time. What should you do? Sometimes I think we are all very busy. I also sometimes find time is not enough for me. I don't have enough time. In Dharma practice, I regard that practicing one Dharma is good enough, not too much. One sutra, one mantra, one Dharma practice. And you go deep into it. In middle age, sometimes impermanences can happen anytime. It's best that you practice to be born into the Pure Land. In my Dharma practice, primarily is to strive to be reborn in the Pure Land. And for the worldly issues, I just let it go, let it run its course. So as for myself, my primary practice is to be born in the Pure Land. If you cannot transform your own body into rainbow light, then you should practice to be born into the Pure Lands and Buddha verses. Once you arrive at the Pure Land, you can continue to practice to attain Buddhahood. Because once you get to the Pure Land and you see the Buddha, then you have confidence. Because in the Sukhavati, they are the graceful and harmonious sound, by hearing it, then you would naturally be mindful of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha and practice the 37 aids to enlightenment, and you can have attainment. So that's why sometimes just practicing to be reborn to the Pure Land is good enough. Like Grandmaster now, according to Taiwanese calendar, I'm 80 now. I'm 80. After the winter solstice, 80. So I just practice to be born in the Pure Land, and I don't think about all the other worldly practices anymore. Just to be born in the Pure Land with one sutra, one mantra, and one dharma practice. And then I help by bardo delivering other sentient beings. These are all very important. I also practice the 1,000 Dharma vessels bardo deliverance every single day since the start of the pandemic until today. Never skip a day. I never skip a day. So I practice the 1,000 Dharma vessels, Dharma bardo deliverance, and ultimately I bardo deliver myself, which is a Dharma practice to be reborn into the Pure Land, and the Buddha verses. So Vajra heart or Vajra sattva Dharma practice, that he's trying his best to practice that is correct. That's the Dharma for repentance. It can clear your karma, your worries, your afflictions, your attachments, to reduce and clear them bit by bit every day. And then with attainment you can go to the Pure Land. There is one key requirement to go to the Pure Land is you need to have good roots. Because by practicing the Dharma, that means you are building your goodness or good roots. And by having the good roots, you can go to the Pure Land and Buddha verses. And without any goodness or any good roots, then you just you will be reincarnated in the transmigration. And you just follow your karma. But by performing Dharma practices, you're building on your good roots. So even when you still have karma, you can go to Pure Land. Because in Sukhavati, there is a Pure Land for mixed mundane beings and the sages. And then at such time, you can practice the mindfulness of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha and the 37 aids to enlightenment, and then you can have attainment. So he dedicates all the merits of the practices to the various worldly wishes. You pray for the worldly wishes? No need. If you have practiced the beyond worldly Dharma that transcends the world, then naturally you would have good roots and you would have blessings and great fortunes. When the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas see that, they would naturally bestow great fortune upon you. No need to ask for the worldly rewards. Just pray to be reborn in the Pure Land. Chanting Grandmaster's mantra, Usnisha Vijaya mantra, to Buddha Sutra, Siddhikarma Sutra, to pray for worldly issues. But the sutras are to transcend the world, for the beyond worldly, not for the worldly. So just do one Dharma practice, Vajrasattva, and you dedicate the merit to be reborn in the Pure Land and Buddha verses. May all who uphold the Buddha, Amitabha, be reborn in the realm of utmost bliss, reaping for generosity from above and aiding those in the three realms below. Upon seeing the Buddha, may we transcend life and death, and like the Buddha, may we liberate all. Just this merit dedication is very good. There is no need to dedicate merit for worldly issues. So Vajrasattva repentance dharma is primarily to eradicate your own karma. Once your karma is eradicated, then you have accumulated good roots, and by having good roots, you would naturally have great fortune, and you don't need to ask for them. Just pray to be reborn in the Pure Land. So this is what my advice to Liao Zijiang. One sutra, one mantra, one dharma practice, and familiarize yourself and go deep into them. And then you use your time to do that. In the future, you will definitely have attainment. The wife told the husband, "I lost my car key," and the husband replied, "Didn't you put it on top of the cabinet?" And yeah, I see it. It's right there, and my cell phone is gone too. "But aren't you using your cell phone to talk to me?" And the wife said, "Oh right, sorry, I have lost my memory." And the husband replied, "Is that lost memory? You actually have a brain problem. We've been divorced for a very long time." The television station and the newspapers interviewing for reporters. And the question is, if you were a reporter during the Qin dynasty and making a report about the burning of books and execution of Confucian scholars during the Qin dynasty, this is BC, 200 BC, how would you report it? And one candidate said, dictatorship government. And the interviewer said, "You don't understand about politics then." And the second one said, "Oh, we have no publication today." And the interviewer said, "Oh, you're brainless." And then another candidate said, "I will report like this. The campfire encountered an accident, and 300 Confucian scholars died from the fire, and a huge pile of books were burned, and the emperor showed empathy and tried his best to save them. So he was approved as a talent." That shows that many medias were making things up. Someone is looking for a job, and wrote that he is he can create rumors or problems by spreading rumors. And then the interviewer could not believe that. "Are you sure? Then please try." And then he told all the other candidates, "You all can go home now. No need to wait. I've got the job. Now you can go home." And they all laughed. So he did it. This is funny. The life of a woman when they're young, or this is a Chinese pun, digging like naughty when they're young. Yeah, this is Chinese pun. This is funny. In class, all the students were energetic. They're not energetic, and anybody that can give an answer can go home. And Ming was laughing, and continually laughing and laughing. Who is laughing? And Xiaoming said, "That's mine. So I can go home now." This is funny. It's 5 already. The elderly does not need to give Dharma teaching anymore. Now we'll talk about the Vimalakirti Sutra. Although viewing all Buddha verses as eternally serene and empty, one manifests various pure lands, and this is the practice of a bodhisattva. As Buddhists, we all know that pure lands and Buddha verses are manifested by the Buddhas and bodhisattvas themselves. So Buddhas and bodhisattvas manifest pure lands. And we also know that these pure lands are temporary, they are not permanent. Because pure lands are originally manifestations. Like Sukhavati of the West, the Lapis Lazuli Pure Land, the Pure Land of Akshobha Buddha, the Pure Lands of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. They are all manifested, and they are temporary place for your spiritual cultivation. Although you understand that, you know that, but true bodhisattvas still manifest pure lands so that sentient beings can go there to cultivate spiritually. Only then they are called true bodhisattvas. Although the pure lands and Buddha verses are extinct, serene, and empty, but they still manifest pure lands and Buddha verses, and that's a true bodhisattva. Although attaining the Buddha path, turning the Dharma wheel, and entering nirvana, one does not abandon the bodhisattva path. And that is the practice of bodhisattva. Although you have attainment, and you don't have to be reincarnated in the six rebirth realms, and you can enter nirvana, but you don't. And you stay in the 6 rebirth realms and not forsaking sentient beings. And then they are a true bodhisattva. You have become a Buddha, you have attainment, and you can transform into rainbow light, but you don't enter nirvana. And you still don't forsake sentient beings, and you still deliver sentient beings, then that is a true bodhisattva. Upon these words, when Vimalakirti spoke on the description of true bodhisattvas. Manjushri and Manjushri's whole entourage, including many heavenly beings, which are 8,000 celestial princes, which have no forms, no bodies. They all generated the mind for Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, which is the mind to practice the path, the true spiritual path, commitment. 8,000 celestial princes. Just imagine how big Vimalakirti's room, and 8,000 celestial princes were inside Vimalakirti's room listening to the Dharma teaching, what true bodhisattvas comprise. They are all heavenly beings without bodies, bodiless. I like to talk about bodiless celestial beings, or we can also say formless celestial beings. Like myself back then, when Golden Mother started to give me the revelation, and then in my dorm that night, she showed me my past lives. And then, not long after that, they were formless teachers, who were formless celestial beings, who came and taught me Dharma, how to walk, how to step, taught me mudras, the hand gestures, and they came every night for an hour. You could not see them. They have no forms. So they are called formless celestial beings. So Vimalakirti's room is how big? How could it house 8,000 beings? I mean, the room here, how could it have 8,000 people? It would break apart this Homa hall. But in fact, they have no forms, so they could become very tiny. So 8,000 celestial princes were all formless, and they followed Manjushri Bodhisattva. Upon hearing Vimalakirti's words, they all generated the mind for Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. I speak Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi in Taiwanese dialect. So this is the passage for this part of the sutra. So hearing what Vimalakirti said, it makes sense. See, this elderly person who was sick could speak so much. It must be quite tiresome. Thank you, everybody.